Good evening and welcome to Pitch Life After Dark. I'm Uncle Tats. I got two special guests sitting backstage. I'm going to bring it shortly, but unfortunately, it also comes with some tough news as Boone again shows poor leadership and pushing a player further than he needs to go. And Caballero is I'm expecting to end up on the IL, but there's a lot of things going around the Yankee world and also around the baseball world. And before we get any further in, I am not going to delay it any longer. I'm going to bring in my special guest, number one, and TC Steels. How's it going, my guy? As soon as we announced the show, it's almost like we simultaneously texted each other.
Yeah.
Are you available?
Doing well, Taz. Doing well. Glad to be here.
It's always good to see you in the chat, talking to you on the phone, staying in touch after all this time. As we've met through the podcasting world, and appreciate all the support and the friendship that goes along with it. Phenomenal family man, loved his family, met him a few times, and that will lead us into guest number two is the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend. We also have big time Jerry joining us tonight. Like I said, on the Yankee Fly with Donald, we have not one guest, but I got two special guests.
Thank you so much, Uncle Tats.
Big time, Jerry. How you feeling, my friend?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. God is good. God is good for me.
Yeah, no, I will make that when I get to that trip down south. You and I were going out for dinner.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I did not forget that invite, and we'll take each other up on that. You pay for the food, I'll pay for the beers. We'll be good.
Well, I won't be drinking any beer.
No. The beverages are on me. Look, the Yankees. You know, to talk about how the beginning of the Yankee season went, like it's really been like that ebb and flow. I think is a really good way to put it. Because with running it back, you really put yourself in a very vulnerable spot where it really, you don't know, who you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. And we're seeing right now that what we're getting is not you have the cohesiveness. I talked about it with Donald this morning. You have the cohesiveness of what's going on, but you don't have, like, nothing's clicking to full capacity. Wells is completely just missing. I can't even say he's absent. He's missing. He's
regressing. He's regressing.
Yeah. Jerry, I know you said you spent a lot of time with Max coverage in his shows, and he's got a phenomenal channel for himself.
Yep, he's doing well.
Really good guy. Like, what's the vibe outside of the Chronicles universe of how this Yankee team looks? Like, how do you see the Yankee teams? How do you see this year going forward for them?
Well, it started out excellent. The pitching staff was phenomenal. The hitting was starting to come around, but it was the pitching that held up. That's why we got off to a tremendous start. But now we're starting to tail off. We're like 1-8 with 500 teams. Anybody that's at 500, we're 1-8, and we're back to the same old story. We're a good team until we meet a better team, and they clock us out. Like this past series with Milwaukee, they did us in. We had a chance. But we don't score enough runs, and they expect the pitching staff. Well, I'm disappointed in the relief staff. We needed at least two more relievers. Joe Ball, I don't trust when he comes in the game. His ball is all over the place, and I just don't trust him. And we have some difficulty we have to address. Cashman's got to do some work. He definitely has to do some work.
I'm going to ask the same question to our inflatable man. His arms flailing. TC, you've been very vocal in the comments and with your takes, and you're. I don't want to say you're pessimistic about the team, but you're not as optimistic as I'm trying, like I have been. Like, where do you see? And I think that's great because it gives a little, give and take on what the Yankees are doing. How we like when you see a losing streak like this, where do you see things going wrong the most?
Well, I mean, Tats, you have a show, so you gotta be positive for the fans out there. I'm more of a realist.
Not all the time. I'm not afraid to be negative.
Yeah, true. You did mention that a couple times in the chat, but talking with I talk with my dad and my brother about the Yankees all the time, and it's the same old thing, same old story. They're wildly inconsistent. They can't hit with runners in scoring position. Not enough contact hitters. Rely on home runs way too much. And the bullpen, they just never addressed it. I mean, and right now I see I saw this coming because they get comfortable. They get this streak going. They won 15 of 17. They played a lot of sub 500 teams. And just talking with my family, you can just see it's coming. And here it is. They can't beat the good teams. Tampa Bay and the Brewers just smoked them. I mean, just beat them all one-run games. They cannot win a one-run game.
We're going to face them next
week. And we
week.
talked about it, the extra innings. Forget it. When you see extra innings, you might as well chalk up a loss because they can't win in the extra innings.
That we both agree with.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's so many needs on this team. I mean, the catching position needs to be addressed immediately. The bullpen is on life support. It's not gonna last. And the hitting is just inconsistent. You can't rely on one or two guys every night. I mean, Ben Rice is carrying the load right now. Judge is even Judge is having up and down year. He's still hitting the home runs, but he's not coming through when it matters. And you can't be a championship team with the offense that they have. And something needs to be addressed. And unfortunately, with the topic of the show, looks like Caballero is going to go on the IL, and he's a spark plug to our team. And poor management on Boone, putting him in there and risking his hand again. And it just, and the even worse news is, guess who's going to replace him? In AAA, Anthony Volpe is right there coming up.
We don't say his name on this channel.
No.
So sorry to
you're gonna make the right move. One more is coming. We'll be fine.
No, Anthony Volpe better stay off the.
Well, he's coming. He's coming.
Was he batting 161?
Yeah, with about 18 errors in 2 games.
Oh, I don't know about the errors, but the strikeouts are gonna cease. We've got too many strikeouts. 14 in one game, 13 in another. I think there were 9 tonight. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's the team they put together.
Oh, that's what I get frustrated about.
But the positive thing, my dad said, the starting pitching is phenomenal. I mean, Weathers pitched another great game, and he's pitched.
Weathers been surprising.
Better than we've all expected.
He is. The Uncle Tax, he's been a surprise.
Yeah. And, you got Fried, you got Rodon back. Cam Schlittler has pitched his heart out every game, and, they blew another one for him. And what else can you – Warren's pitching great. He's had 1 or 2 bad starts. But the starting pitching, you can't blame them one thing at all.
Yeah.
You can't blame them at all. It's the inconsistent hitting, and, it's too bad Cashman has put this bullpen together, and it's just not going to cut it.
Yeah, no, we've got to do some work.
That's what I wanted to lead into with Boone, and Jerry, you'll get the first take on this. It's he can you have that adage, he can only manage the team that was constructed for him. So it's hard to say that this was all Boone's fault. He doesn't have the best bullpen arms to rely on. Duvall's been a bust. Bird has been very up and down. Cruz is not consistent enough. Really, the only 2 arms in the bullpen of the entire bullpen that I really have faith in is Tim Hill, who did not have the best series last time around. Cost them a game, but the offense, should have put up more runs.
Right.
So it's not all on him. And Bednar, who, I said ending the show this morning, stop expecting Mariano Rivera to come through those doors.
That's
And Mariano isn't perfect either.
It's
His
not
days are
going to
over.
happen.
It sucks to have to put his name into this discussion,
Right.
because we all love and respect and admire what Mariano did for baseball, not even just our team. But Boone at some point, bringing it to what TC was saying with Caballero, you have to have some wherewithal going, okay, this guy is on the shelf right now. That's why he's not on my starting lineup.
But he
Give him
came
a
in
whole day
tonight.
off.
He came in tonight and made the last out, trying to slide into second.
And that's the thing. It's not that Boone has was given a bad roster. Boone gets into these panic modes where he forgets how to manage properly for the next night's game. And I think that's Boone's biggest flaw. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I agree. But see, the other night, Hill did a bonehead play. He should have gone to first base to get the automatic out. Instead, he throws to third and hits Randifo in the head. And so they gave him an extra out because Judge made the final out in right field in the corner. That would have been the third out. However, they already scored the run, and that did us in. We had a chance in that game, and Hill is very good.
Well, we've had a chance in every game. We've only run, these games against, like TC to kind of go back to what you were saying. These teams that we're playing that are above 500, we're only losing by a run, maybe two.
Right.
So it's not like we're getting blown out by these better teams.
No.
The starting pitching are keeping us in the games.
Yeah.
But it's our bullpen just can't hold the lead.
Yeah.
And the bottom of the order can't get those insurance runs.
Mm-hmm.
And that therein lies the problem with the Yankee construction of this roster. Is they have the core, they don't have the depth.
Well, that's why when it comes to the eighth and ninth inning, you got to take Tums with the bullpen coming in, or roll eights, one of the two.
Well, if you look at when the Yankees were really riding high, the starting pitchers were going into the seventh inning, so you only needed the bullpen for two.
Right.
Once you have to get into that third, fourth inning of bullpen use, that's when the house of cards comes apart.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. We've seen it in the past few nights now.
And absolutely. But that's the big problem. That's where, an optimist like me has to agree with somebody that may not, I don't want to call them, I hate using calling people pessimistic. Maybe there are people that deserve that title, but really not on this channel. The ones that just have that don't want to go all in. They're holding back a little bit. And this gives them, the way that the Yankees have played the last couple, the last series and tonight, kind of give them justification of, see, this is why I'm not high on what the Yankees are doing. And I have to sit here and admit that, some of the guys that are, some of the fans that are holding back saying, this is not, yes, it's nice to have that cohesion that they brought it back. But we saw them falter last year and the year before and the year before.
Right.
So why should I I can't get hyped up about going, 19 out of 6, winning 19 out of 16. It's they can't do it. And I'm at that point in this present moment, I can't blame them. TC, you've been very difficult. You've been hard on this team. And really, come on. All right, inflatable win.
It's after dark. Hey, it's part of the title, After Dark.
After dark.
It's like,
I'll admit I'm very hard on this team because it's been too long. It's been 16, 17 years since they won a World Series, and I know they can do it. The organization really has failed since the late
2009.
90s.
Yeah.
And yeah, 2009 too. But I mean, they failed. They haven't been proactive. They're just they go after the wrong players. They're too set on home run hitters,
Yeah.
not
They go
consistent.
dumpster diving.
Contact hitters. I mean, they're good in one area. Like finding starting pitching has been great for a while, but they can't get any position players. They got guys on defense that play good defense, can't hit. I mean, how long are you going to go with McMahon, Wells, Grisham? I mean, you got 3-4 guys in your lineup under 200. I mean, you can't win like that, and that's why I'm always going to be hard, because this team has a $30 million payroll.
Yeah.
And these are the lineups you throw out there. I mean, that's a disgrace to.
I don't even know what the Rays payroll is.
The Rays probably pay, what, 75 million, maybe 60 million.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're way below.
Unbelievable.
It's just ridiculous the way this team has been constructed.
Right.
I mean, having 2-3 left-handed catchers on your team. What are you doing? Do you make any sense? I mean, it really doesn't. And to consistently, Donald brought it up on the show earlier. You messed up Rizzo with his injury, playing him. You messed up Volpe playing with a sore shoulder. He couldn't even throw the ball. And now you mess up Caballero. I mean,
God, that was the medical staff. I blame
who's
them.
to blame for all these, mistakes?
No, it's I don't even blame the medical staff. They turned over their medical staff probably more than any other team over the last 5 years. To answer the question with the Rays payroll right now, it's $84.7 million.
Okay, compared to $330 million.
Yeah, and they swept us.
That's a fourth of the Yankees.
That's what I'm so disgusted with.
Well, and there's one factor to that. Aaron Boone cannot hold a candle to Kevin Cash.
No, he can't.
Kevin Cash is a phenomenal manager.
Alex Cora too. He played him. Alex Cora used to outbid him, outdo him.
But they've played smart baseball for years.
Yeah.
They don't rely on home runs. They have no superstars on their team.
No,
but they
don't.
know how to score a run when they need a run. And that's the problem with the Yankees. They do not change approaches. They don't change the 2-strike hitters. They don't. I mean, they just rely on home runs. You see it day in and day out.
Right.
And it's frustrating. They got speed on this team, and they still don't. They don't hit and run. They don't.
Right.
Nobody knows how to bunt. I mean, it's just.
Well, no, the one
that's the manager's fault. When you need a run, that's a manager's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy they did know that the guy that knew how to bunt, Boone just got him landed on the IL.
Yeah,
because he panicked.
Caballero.
And I said this. I said this on Donald's show before. Good leadership doesn't panic. Boone panicked.
Yeah,
he got desperate, and when you get desperate, that's when you make your biggest mistake, and that's what happened tonight. Boone panicked. And
we had that game. We had that game.
You know what sucks is I thought that Hedrick coming in at that point was the right move. It just had a bad outcome.
Right.
Yeah, he's been.
So now Hedrick
solid.
is going to get the shit. Hedrick's going to catch all the bullshit. How'd you let that? How'd you make a mistake? The pitchers can only be perfect for so long.
Yeah.
The offense needs to back up this pitching staff. I think that's what it all circles back to.
Right.
You can't have, Jazz wanted to be a 50-50 hitter. Right now, he's looking at a 50 strike. I think he already has 50 strikeouts.
Oh, he looked terrible tonight. Terrible.
50 errors, 50
I was
strikeouts.
a Jazz fan when they made the move for him. I was excited about it.
Yeah, so was I.
I'm like, I can't. I'm losing faith in him. I'm like, and when you get results like this in a contract year, that tells you that this is probably what Jazz is going to be. I don't see him back with the Yankees next year.
No.
And if they make another mistake like with Grisham and give him a QO,
No
One,
way.
I think the QO should just be eliminated from the game. It's useless. It
You
serves
want to
no
give
purpose.
him $30 million? He's batting
They would.
201. Yeah.
They would. The
And-
Yankees would. Well, because 2 years ago he had a 30-30 year. That's the way they'll look
Right.
at it.
Right. But I can't look at it that way. We've got to go year to year.
What's surprising to me about Jazz is this is his walk year. Like he has no
Right.
contract for it, and he looks like he's
That's the most
uninterested.
surprising part of it.
He looks
Well, because
uninterested.
He
has
doesn't have any challenge, Todd.
He looks
Nobody's
bored.
challenging him.
He
at
does.
Second base.
He looks
That's
like
the
he
problem.
doesn't
He's
want to play
comfortable.
baseball.
Too
He's
comfortable.
very lazy, lackadaisical. Some of his swings, it's like, oh well. He's challenging balls right down the middle. Like what? I mean, are you okay? Is your head in the game?
We got
I mean,
Torres on that. Remember how lackadaisical he was? Running
Yep.
down the baseline and
I don't know. I'd rather have Glaber Torres right now over Jazz.
What does that tell you?
Yeah.
Oh my
Now,
God.
Glaber hit better. He hit better than Jazz.
Well, he destroyed
Yeah,
Baltimore.
you know, the thing I love the most about doing the After Dark shows is there's no format to it. I'm going to bounce around a little bit, and I'm going to ask Jerry some, one rapid fire question,
Okay.
and one thing I'm going to bring up. I really want you to go into depth with me on if you can. Is what's your thought? This is the rapid fire, the ABS system. How do you feel about it?
I love the system because it doesn't hold the game up. You
Okay.
get the results in seconds. It's right instantaneous, probably better than the other way.
Yep. And I'm going to bring this up because actually we were talking about you earlier, so Neil. Because Jazz is supposed to go 50-50 this year. 50
Yeah.
ABS challenge, 50 of them missed.
There you go. Exactly.
He's terrible with the ABS. He really is.
Yeah.
And
No.
here's my in-depth question for you. And it's going to take a little bit of a somber note. Because you and I, we haven't had a chance to talk in a while. What was your overview on the career of John Sterling?
You're asking me?
Oh yeah.
John Sterling, he's a masterful broadcaster. Nobody's going to match him. He had a heck of a career as an announcer, and he came up with all these names,
Yeah.
and that's what people got excited about. Burn, baby, burn, and all these names that he came up with. Glaber Day. He was quick, very quick, and consistent there for years without being sick. He loved doing that job, and you knew it behind the mic. He
Yeah,
was
you
just
could tell.
just outstanding, an outstanding man.
I always, since day one, the two of us interacted on Yankees Morning Brew. The two of us kind of connected right away. And I actually have a surprise for you. I have a John Sterling call for you, Mr. Jerry. All right,
Oh,
you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right, it is high, it is far, it is gone. Jerry Cadillo with the big time homer, big time Jerry puts the Yankees on top.
If only.
Yeah.
I couldn't even hit a 98 mile an hour fastball. Never mind stand at the plate. Yeah, I love the game.
When TC and I talked this morning, and he wanted to bring you on, I've wanted. I actually was going to call you at your home to talk to you about it.
Yeah, you
And
already did. You earlier.
When we talked this morning, when TC and I talked this morning,
Right.
and I says, when she said that you were able to come on, I says, I got to come up with a call for him. And that would be your John Sterling call.
Yeah. Did you know that Todd and I broadcast some of the games in California?
No, I did not.
Yeah, we went to
that
Angel
makes it
Stadium.
even better.
We went to Angel Stadium, and we announced two games there.
They were amateur
They were-
league games.
They were
Okay.
amateur league, 30-year-old guys. but it was hardball.
Wave
It
the
was,
arms, wave the arms, wave the arms, wave the
Wait,
arms,
wait,
wave
wait.
the arms, wave the
Yeah, so we got to be right behind home, and the speakers were so the players could actually hear us announce,
Yep.
and we were the only ones who did like color commentary. The regular guys, you know, because there were different games throughout the day,
Yeah.
and so we did the late game. And I said, hey, I was talking to the supervisor, and I said, hey, can we announce the game? He said, yeah, we'd love that.
Yeah.
So we actually broadcast the game, and we were like, here's the
Yeah.
pitch, and here's the switch, and my dad would throw in, oh, it's foul, and look at all those people scatter, and there's like 2 people, trying to get a ball, and we had a great time. The players loved it. They were like looking at us like, these guys are good.
People in the stands, maybe
Yeah,
50,
they loved
75 people. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a great experience. Having my dad, I mean, that was, both our dreams. His dream was to be a radio announcer, and I actually went to school for that. I went to broadcasting college. I went through ESPN. I did all like a broadcasting class and all that. So
Cal State Fullerton. He graduated from Cal
yeah,
State
it was pretty intense. I never never went farther than that, but I mean, it's been a dream of ours to do that, and for us to do that at Angel Stadium, and it was a little
That's really
crowd,
cool.
but it still was it was so fun. Yeah,
that
that's
is
great.
And I think that's the it's one of the joys of baseball is the way that the game is presented to you. Yeah, and I think that for us in our show where we do the the after effects of the game, channels that do the pregame, and then guys that do the play by play. Pete and NFE. I mean, they do a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And they have a great platform to do it, and the wherewithal, the stamina to do it. I couldn't do it. We tried doing it, and I'm like, it's just not my forte. Yeah, I'll give the commentary afterwards.
Yeah,
but that's remarkable to be able to do that. Plus, I don't have the memory of a lot of people. Like I can barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning. And then I realized that wait a minute, you don't even eat breakfast. Like I'll talk with Spencer on the phone sometimes, and he'll be going. I mean, he's a phenomenal historian,
right?
For the Yankees.
Yes, he is.
That's what you have to be. You do have to be a historian.
I've had to say to him a couple of times, I'm like, "How do you remember this shit?"
Yeah.
Like it's beyond me the memory that some of these fans have.
Yeah,
I'm envious.
It sticks because when you read books, that sticks in your memory. I read a lot of books on baseball, so I follow the Yankees. I mean, when they were the New York Highlanders, nobody knew who they were back in 1911.
Well, you're not that old, Jerry.
No. You didn't follow the Highlanders. You were born in 47.
No.
What are you talking about?
I knew the club when
you say he read about it.
Yeah, he read about it.
Right, I read about it.
He'd go to sleep with the radio under his pillow.
I did, Uncle Tats.
Yeah, with Phil Rizzuto.
My wife by my side, and not to disturb her, I had the radio under the pillow. And then the game would end, and all the static, because we're playing out in California. We were playing the Angels at the time. Those were the days.
Yep. Even Steven's jumping into the chat. He's like, I have a good memory of my HVAC service calls, but sometimes these games get me so mad I can't forget.
I know.
Very frustrating.
You put yourself in the game, and you just get flustered. Yeah, Max does at times, but he controls himself. He doesn't no vulgar. There's no vulgar coming from him. He knows how to control himself. He's on the professional level.
No, I'm not that level of professional. That's why I don't call it sports talk radio, because I can't control myself.
You have to. You
don't do it.
And that's the thing. I don't curse to curse. It just comes. I talk that way. It is what it is. I don't apologize for it. I am who I am.
Yeah.
like Popeye said, I am what I am.
Yeah.
Look, I want to get to another topic, and it's the topic that we were going to come into the night with, before they completely unraveled and Boone completely blew it.
Yeah.
We TC, you see in the chat a lot. Lou brings it up. You've brought it up. Multiple people have brought it up that there's an issue right now with baseball where the National League is so superior to the American League that the Dodgers coming into once the season spring training started, it was all about how the Dodgers were going to get this three-peat. And I don't know if they're holding back a little bit, but the Dodgers don't seem that they have that dominance. Not even within, they're tied with the Padres. And it's still very early in the season. The next month could tell us a whole different story. Understand that, it's and whatever team does dominate, you got to respect it in that league. But I don't think the Dodgers, I'm gonna get your takes on it. I think there are too many good teams in the National League that can really put the Dodgers to the test. Not dominate them. I don't think the Dodgers are a team that are going to get dominated. But I think when you look at teams like the Cubs, the Pirates are even playing a lot better.
Yeah.
They're playing very sound baseball.
Yeah, they're
The
playing much better.
Marlins, the Braves are starting to figure it out.
Braves are in first place with
The
28
Padres,
divisions.
like I mentioned. I don't think the Dodgers are a lock for the World Series. I don't think this three-peat is guaranteed anymore.
But they got 4 players that are going to be in the Hall of Fame. At least 4 players.
Yep.
Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, probably Smith, the catcher, and Ohtani when he retires. Those 4 guys will be in the Hall of Fame.
I'll push back. I think only 2 of them are going to get.
I don't know about all of them. Ohtani is,
Freeman.
You don't think Freddie Freeman? No.
I think Freddie Freeman's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's got what?
The
4
other
more years
2,
to
no,
play?
I don't think so.
Smith, the catcher.
Not yet.
No. Okay.
Well, they're letting anybody in now, so I mean, it's.
I could make it in the Hall of Fame if I take a few at bats. The way they're voting. That's it. Maybe we'll end up being the first podcast inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But and it's funny because I actually just got my package today from the Hall of Fame because I'm a member. So I got my care package for the 26th season. And if you're not a member of the Hall of Fame, do it. It's very affordable. And you get you get a magazine every month.
Mm-hmm.
After the Hall of Fame induction, there's special memorabilia you can get through the Hall of Fame that's not available to the public.
Wow.
And so I'll send you guys the information for it. You guys would really, I think this is something you two would appreciate.
Have you and your son been at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown?
No, my wife and I have been there.
Oh, okay. We didn't spend enough time because it was kind of late, I think, or like 1 o'clock when we got there. So I would have loved to stay longer, but we didn't stay.
We got there in the morning and we didn't even get to look at everything.
No, I don't think we saw
it's really a full. I would say you need a day and a half.
Yeah, and you know me, I like to read everything.
Look at everything. Yeah. But
we went through the whole thing, and my dad was still on the first floor.
Uncle Tats knows that when we were at Monument Park.
Oh, Monument Park, yeah.
Yep. That was such a great experience with you guys. Yeah. I got to tell you.
That was great. That we met up with you guys. We spent a good portion of the day with you. Yeah. That was good.
But no, Steve, you're right. The Hall of Fame 2 days. I agree with that.
Yeah. If you really want to,
if your first time there, definitely 2 days.
Right.
If you're a regular there, you could probably look at everything in a day and a half. Really, the most impressive thing in the Hall of Fame, I do have to. Yes, you walk through, you see all the plaques, you're in awe of the names that are in there.
Right.
I think the one thing of the Hall of Fame, the section that they absolutely nailed was for the Negro League.
Hmm.
The
Okay.
section for the
Okay.
Negro Leagues,
Yeah.
they nailed it. Like the memorabilia, the history, all the placards with all the stories about some
Right.
players, Satchel Paige and all those
Yeah.
guys. They did the Hall of Fame. We may give them shit for the amount of guys that they're putting in, but when you think about the museum part of it, not just the Hall of Fame,
Mhm.
there's nowhere else you want to be as a sports fan.
Right.
Well, there's
Yeah.
no history like baseball. I mean,
No.
baseball
Right.
has an unbelievable rich history, and it's just it's a
Statistics.
difficult game. And
It is.
for you to be in the Hall of Fame is an accomplishment because
Yeah.
it's not an easy game.
I would say Ithaca to Cooperstown, you're looking at only a couple of hours, Sunil. It's not a far. It shouldn't be that far a drive.
It's 4 hours. It took
You
us
pretty
4
much go
hours
to the
from Manhattan.
Catskills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get there from my house in 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now that we took that little side road trip.
Right.
Let's get back to the Dodgers. Do you really think that the Dodgers where do you see the Dodgers right now? Because especially now that they put Edwin Diaz on the 60-day IL, like they're dealing with some injuries. I think Diaz going on the IL, not that injuries don't affect them. Like they won the World Series throwing bullpen games because they didn't have any starters.
Right. Right.
But I just, me personally, like I said, between the Cubs, the Padres, we just saw the Brewers. I don't think the Braves and the Marlins are a team to mess with. I think the Dodgers are up for a threat. I think they're gonna have to take this season a lot more seriously than they thought they would.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
The Braves could take them as long as they have their pitching staff with Elder and some of those top-notch pitchers. But
Yep.
they had difficulty too with the injuries, and they're trying to make a comeback. But the Dodgers last year, they got decimated with the pitching staff, but they were able to come back and win the World Series. But look at the play that play that Page made over Kiki Hernandez. Kiki wouldn't have caught that ball. He was on an angle. He wouldn't have caught that ball. He said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I think I would have caught it." I don't think so. The other guy was taller, and he made that. And then, of course, the home run. You got to be good, but you also have to be lucky too. There's luck involved as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No, there definitely is a luck factor when it comes to
Yeah.
winning the World Series.
Yeah.
You can't. If it's just on pure talent, there wouldn't be any favorites because there's no way to. You get to that point, both teams would be favored to win. It just comes down to luck.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds of Judge dropping that ball?
Oh,
You're talking about 1,000,000 to 1 he drops that.
yeah.
Cole messing up, covering
That
the
whole
base.
inning, yeah.
Yeah, that whole inning was a
1,000,000 to
mess.
1, like that
Yeah.
whole inning.
It was
Like-
a nightmare.
There's no way you could. That's why you can't. You can't predict baseball, Susan. And
That's right. That's right.
that's probably one. It's one of my favorite lines because it's the truest line that I think he's ever said.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't predict baseball.
No, you can't. Because you
But
don't know where the ball's going to go.
where do you see the Dodgers?
For the Dodgers, I mean, they've been consistent for years, and I don't think they're sweating to me, they probably think it's a slow start. They should be like 6-7 games ahead. But the Padres are right there, Braves. There's some teams to compete. Are they sustainable all season? I don't know. I don't know if these teams can sustain that. The records that they have. The Dodgers clearly have the best starting pitching. They don't even have Blake Snell.
Right.
They got Yamamoto, Ohtani, Sasaki. I mean, they got what's the Glass now? I mean, they just throw out an ace every night. Yeah, they're dealing with some injuries. The bullpen isn't as, the Edwin Diaz, injury. And
Right.
some guys haven't been hitting, but
They bounce
down the
back.
stretch, they're going to be there. The thing is, will the Braves, will the Padres be able to compete with the postseason Dodgers? Because they turn it up a notch.
Yeah.
And we've seen it. And they, like you said, they throw a bullpen game and no sweat. We got this.
Right.
They don't miss a beat. They have a great roster. Their roster construction is terrific. I mean, yes, they have the money to spend, and more power to them.
Because
But
they have the Gutenheimer
they've got the right
organization.
players.
Yeah.
We have a payroll of 330 with the wrong players.
Right.
So, and they have a great farm system. Guys go down, they bring up a guy that Dalton Rushing, the catcher's going crazy.
Right.
I mean, they bring up these different guys I don't even know every night, and I'm like, who's this guy? And he's
Right.
hitting 400. I mean, it's just ho hum for the Dodgers. But I'm not a Dodger fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. I like to see them lose, especially out here in California. I'm tired of all the cocky fans.
Well, you
And
got
all
a
this,
friend that's on your back
every
all the
night they
time.
think they're going to win. So they're just a consistent team.
Yeah.
They play fundamental sound baseball. I just hope there's other teams that can match it. And the Braves and the Padres and the Cubs, those are three teams right there that I think can match up well with them. And it's not going to be a walk in the park. It isn't.
No.
The Braves are much improved this year.
Yeah.
Very much improved.
I think if the Cubs and Braves, I think that when it comes to the trade deadline, I think the NL, the National League, is going to be super aggressive acquiring the players from the dead teams in the AL that are going to be able to contribute. I think it's really going to be a one-sided trade deadline. I don't see a lot of movement coming from the NL to the AL. I think it's going to be more to the other side.
But Tats, with everybody in the AL playing bad and they all have the same record, they're all in it. They're all in the wild card. It's just Tampa Bay and the Yankees are that's it. The rest are all like 500 baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
if it continues
that's
that
a good
way,
point. That might disrupt the expectations of the trade deadline.
I think it will.
It also depends on what the contracts are, because that's I hate to tell you, I might have to bring the two of you back for another show for this, but the salary cap is coming.
Oh, definitely.
It's coming.
It is coming.
It has to.
We may like it, we may not. It's coming. That's why I don't think that we're gonna have baseball in May and March and April next year. There will be a shutdown.
Yeah.
I think that's inevitable. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, the players don't like the salary cap.
No,
they're totally against it.
Of course not.
But there's got to be a level. You have to have a level.
Well, I think that's where the compromise is going to be, and I think that's what the holdup is. Where that's going to come into play is they'll say, "All right, we'll agree to a cap if you guys agree to a floor," and that's where the negotiations are going to get ugly.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be the holdup in the whole situation.
Yeah, but it's definitely a strike coming.
There's still a whole season before we got to worry about that.
Right.
Yeah, and there should be penalties either way. You don't spend enough, you get penalized. You go over the cap, and well, you really can't. But you gotta. Some of these teams, they don't spend enough money, and they take from everyone else, and they just pocket.
Nobody owns a sports team to take a loss.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
Bad business.
Exactly. But listen, I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with us tonight. DC, you and I, we talk all the time. Jerry, we don't talk enough.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be on. I thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate the both of you.
This is the Yankee family. That's how I treat it.
Through and through.
Yeah.
Through and through. But listen, I'll do my sign off. I'll keep you guys on. But listen, anytime you guys want to come on in the After Dark, it will be consistently at Mondays at midnight. My overtime shifts are over. Everything's coming back to normal. Nice. So look forward to seeing everybody Monday nights.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to have different guests come on with me to guest co-host. Give
Right.
a little tip of it, thank yous to some of the subscribers that want to join in.
Mhm.
I know
Yeah.
Jonathan's always itching at the bit.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so,
I
but
like
with that,
Jonathan.
Jonathan
make
is
sure
a
you hit that.
diehard fan.
He's
Oh
on
yeah,
top of everything. He's on top of everything.
yep. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out, your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. I'm Uncle Tats. I'm here with TC.
Yeah.
Big time, Jerry.
Yeah.
Everybody, hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Get a good night's sleep. And remember, wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.
God bless you and the family.